What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rant, no hate. So look, congratulations. Oleksander Usyk did what he had to do. He moved, he boxed, he did what we normally see him do. I felt like him adding a little bit more weight would just be to absorb blows better, to have more weight behind his shot, when he leaps in. But overall, it's not going to give him any more snap. Heavier arms, it's not going to give you more punching power. A lot of people were saying things like that. He did what he had to do, though. Now, AJ, on the other hand, did not fight like a big man. If you saw my breakdown video, I said repeatedly, I've been saying this leading up to the fight, for people that was asking how do AJ win and what do I think, I said AJ needs that jab to throw Usyk's rhythm off. Doesn't matter if he's moving. If you're double, triple jabs, when you pump the jab out there, if you're not going to catch and shoot, you need to slide away from the shots. And when Usyk would feint, AJ, instead of sliding back out or even turning his shoulder to slide and move, he's just standing there. He was getting hit with the left hand. He never established anything that worked for him consistently. Nothing. He land one shot and then just get comfortable. And when he land one, Usyk would try to come in and land more. Usyk showed more willingness to come in than AJ did. AJ didn't fight like a big man. He looked like he didn't know what he was supposed to do. It looked like the southpaw style threw him off, and he just looked like when he looked like he wanted to come in, it's like he wasn't confident with throwing more than one punch. He just throw that one shot, and if it lands, like I said, he get complacent with it. If it didn't land, he just looked like he was stuck. Like, I don't really know what I want to do. What should I be doing? That's how he was looking. Rob McCracken in the corner was telling him, use the jab, use the jab. I said he should have been throwing body shots. He should jab to the body. You gotta look. A fighter like Usyk that moves a lot, the key is to take his legs away. Because now, if he can't move like he wants to, he's gonna have to stand and trade more than he wants to. For AJ to work so much on cardio, I'm like, what are you holding back for? What's you need to establish yourself early in the fight, back this guy up. You show him you're the big guy. AJ was like in boxing mode, but to the point of, okay, what should I be doing? That's honestly how he looked, like he just was not sure about what he should have been doing. And Usyk's movement is not so much the hand speed, it's the movement. And when he was feinting and like AJ looked lost in there. And that's why when people were saying, oh, it's gonna be just like fighting Andy. No, it's not like fighting Andy. It's opposite. Andy has really fast hands, slow feet, and don't know how to cut off a ring. Usyk has quick hands, but he's an all-around better boxer. They was doing a lot of head hunting. I'm like, where's the body shots? I'm looking. Now, y'all know, I was rocking with AJ. But like I told you guys, just because I want him to win doesn't mean he's going to win. So you don't hear me guaranteeing victory. My thing is he did the opposite of what he should have been doing. And he allowed Usyk to feel comfortable. AJ looked like he lost his heart to go in there and trade if he needs to. If the fight gets tough, like, he didn't show any desperation like, I need to knock this guy out to win. He couldn't have thought he was winning that fight. He had to know he was behind. Now, I would rather see the fighter that I want to see win lose the decision if he really lost, versus jumping up, pumping. Well, no, I'm not gonna be jumping up, pumping my fist anyway. But you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad it wasn't a robbery, because if they had gave AJ that fight, I would have clearly made a video saying, AJ, you lost. I can't blame him for can't blame a fighter for what decision the judges make. But I would have clearly said, if AJ got the decision, that he lost that fight. No way in hell. AJ is going to have to really get his shit together to win a rematch, because If he fights Usyk in the rematch, and honestly, let's look at the time frame. We don't know how. Let's just say another 5 months from now. Just say, for example, he's gonna have to be able. Like I always tell you, fighters have to, not just because somebody show you something different. Because he wasn't listening to Rob McCracken in the corner. If you listen to what Rob was telling him, AJ wasn't really listening to him because he couldn't. Not that he didn't want to. He just never felt comfortable. And that's the key word I tell everybody. A fighter has to feel comfortable learning these things. It's the movement, the southpaw stance, and they both were giving feints all night. And AJ, like when Usyk would feint, AJ would stand there, and he kept getting hit with the left hand. And what I was waiting to see for AJ to do was when he's going to turn it up and start moving this guy backwards. Start double, triple jabbing to the body. Hit this guy in the hips. Hit him in his hips. Hit him to the body. You got to give him something to worry about. You got to slow him down. AJ had no snap on his jab. It's like he was just pawing it out there, just pushing it out there. No snap on his jab. No bad intentions behind his shots. It like he had some nervous energy. And again, I could see in his face he was unsure of himself. He really didn't know how to adjust to what Usyk was doing. And pretty much that's what it came down to. Now, for people that say, well, what you think Fury would do to him, or what? Well, Fury is a different fighter than Usyk. We don't know. Usyk might mess around and beat Fury or beat Wilder. We don't know. We'll see. And, one fight at a time, different approach. Usyk being a smaller guy, as long as he can dance and move, he's always going to fight that way until he can't. And that's when he's going to get in trouble, when he has to trade more than what he normally wants to do. AJ at times was moving his head from side to side, but he would only do it momentarily. And then come in the straight line, back out in the straight line. And he just looked lost in there. The better man won. Plain and simple. We knew going into the fight, Usyk was technically all around, with him having technically all around a better boxer than AJ. But AJ, when I made the comparison about Hearns and Leonard, I said I felt like Leonard was the better boxer than Hearns, definitely. But Hearns was good enough. They both great boxers, but Hearns was good enough to know how to fight like a big man. And fight and use his power and back Leonard up. And we didn't see AJ do that. AJ didn't fight like a big man. I say he needed to double, triple jab, go to the body, give angles. When Usyk is moving and you're coming in, as you're coming in, keep your head moving, right? Get him to those ropes and work on him. He negotiated too much and he showed Usyk too much respect. And in all honesty, you guys know, and like I said, I'm not no turncoat. I'm not going to lie to try to make the fighter that I wanted to see win look better than what they are. AJ has did his thing, and I feel like, okay, you lost this fight. Watch this fight, study this fight. Look at what you should have been doing and what you didn't do. Usyk can come in a rematch and do the same exact things. AJ is the one that needs to change. Now, any fighter has to adjust and adapt to what happens in the ring. But AJ showed no ability to be able to adjust to anything that Usyk was doing. And to have the rematch, I think he needs to stay focused and really understand what he needs to do as a big man. You let a much smaller guy come in, back in the day they used to use the term blown up, like a blown up heavyweight. You're just a blown up cruiserweight going to a heavy to the heavyweights. So they would call you a blown up heavyweight, like you're not naturally that, and that doesn't always mean anything. Usyk showed it, but it's not just it's Usyk did what he was supposed to, but AJ did not show the ability to fight like he was supposed to. Like I said, he didn't look like he was confident with getting in. We've always seen AJ as a good inside fighter, and nothing he did was consistent tonight. Nothing. And going into a rematch against Usyk, AJ has a lot on his plate. Now, anybody who fights AJ in the future are probably going to try to knock AJ out, because if for pride's sake AJ didn't want to fight on the back foot against Usyk because he's a bigger man, then he should have been busier. The constant cardio. AJ looked different. He didn't look nearly as bulky as he usually looks. So all the cardio to be in condition to fight the 12 rounds, where was the body shots, man? Where was the combination punches? Nothing crisp, nothing sharp. Everything was just push, push, push. And you know how you can tell nervous energy? He had no snap in his jab. His power shots, everything he was throwing looked like slaps. That's when you're unsure about what you're throwing and you're trying to be so careful and not to get caught. And pretty much, if you're going to fight a smaller guy like that, that's pretty much one of the lighter punches in the heavyweight division. What's going to happen when you get in there with somebody that's going to come at you and try to put that pressure on you? Because fighting on the back foot to give different looks is one thing. If you're just trying to win on points, you still got to land punches. But if you're going to stand there and not fight on the back foot, but you don't have the heart to go in and throw your shots and impose your will on a guy who basically can box, and we know he can fight all night. So my thing was, even with the added weight, he had him at 221. Not like it was a huge difference, from 212 and 215. But Usyk did what Usyk was going to do. I told you guys that Usyk was going to go in there and box. I can't see him just trying to walk AJ down unless AJ is allowing him to. AJ allowed him to get his confidence. Usyk saw AJ don't want to trade. AJ's trying hard to not get hit, but he's limited his offense. And also, he was thrown off by the movement, the feints. So AJ just didn't look sharp. And I believe, like I said, clearly Usyk, his style, and coming from that southpaw stance the way he does, AJ had no answers for it. So for AJ to go back to the drawing board, let's do this again. He's gonna have to, get back to going into what he used to do. Okay. So for people, he might need a new trainer. It doesn't matter who your trainer is if you're not going to listen to him. And I heard in between rounds, Rob McCracken telling him, relax. But look, work off the jab. We need the jab. I mean, it's common sense, man. You're 6'6". Regardless, double, triple jabs, jab to the body. When you give those feints, catch and shoot when this guy throws. And even if he feints, and he throws nothing, turn a different way. Don't give him the same looks. Come back 2-3 punch combinations. AJ punches look slow tonight. His punches didn't look that hard tonight. And again, that nervous energy. And in all honesty, I don't think it would be good for him to fight somebody else and then go back to Usyk, especially if they're not a southpaw. But I think he needs to really, get his rest, whatever he's going to do, and get right back in the gym. He needs to study everything from round one to the last round. He needs to study everything because, like I said, Usyk can come in and do the same exact thing again. Unless AJ changes, it's going to be the same outcome. He needs to go in there and it's that power jab, but snap, a quick jab, snap it. He had no snap in his punches, none. He just looked flat. He looked like he did. Like I said, he didn't give Usyk anything to worry about. So Usyk did what he had to do. Hey, this AZB, you ain't gonna get no excuses from me. Never. The better man won, and I feel like this, right? Let's see what happens with Fury and Wilder. Funny thing, remember the last time when AJ got his ass whooped? Wilder laughed and he got his ass whooped too. Wilder get a chance now to try to get that revenge. See how it goes. We might wind up getting Usyk versus Fury. We might wind up getting Usyk versus Wilder. We'll see. Unless Wilder can knock Usyk out, I see Usyk winning that fight. Fury, I mean, you know, a big puncher can always get you out of there. I see Fury winning against Wilder again. At the end of the day, like I said, unless Wilder could land something and get him out of here. AJ, who has been a much better boxer than Wilder, looked flat. And when I say look flat, I don't mean like, oh, he wasn't prepared or he didn't train. No, I mean he just looked flat. He looked confused. He looked like he didn't know what he was supposed to be doing. And everything he did wrong tonight, he has to correct that. He has to I'm saying AJ got to get his heart back to fight like a big man. It's like he's trying to be so careful to the point he's limiting his offense, man. And he didn't look like the same AJ in there. In all honesty, if tonight is the first time you saw AJ fight, I'm pretty sure there's people that will be saying this guy's overrated, man. He didn't look good. Usyk style made AJ look bad. We can't sit and act like all the AJ fights and what he's accomplished like they didn't happen. No, Usyk just made him look bad, man. And AJ just did not do what he was supposed to. He didn't go for broke. He didn't leave it all in the ring. He held back because he didn't know. He couldn't figure out Usyk. He didn't know what to do. And 65,000 people came out to see this fight with very, very little press about this fight, you know. And pretty much now what you have October 9th is going to be Fury versus Wilder. And Fury said if he beats Wilder, well, pretty much he said after he beats Wilder, but you know, if he beats Wilder, that he'll fight Dillian White first before he fights AJ. Well, whether he still sticks to that or not, it's going to be a rematch pretty much between Usyk and AJ. And you know, the fight, that was an okay fight. It was an okay fight. You had two boxers in there, but one guy should have been much busier. Like, watch the breakdown video if you didn't, and listen to what I said to AJ, what I would have him do, what I feel like he should be doing. He didn't do any of that. I'm like, where's the double jab? Where's the triple jab? Where's this? You know, he was doing the head movement, no real lateral movement, no catch and shoot. You know, no body shots. Throw down to the body, jab to the body. Believe me, you're doing this from round one. By the time rounds 4 or 5 come, 5 or 6 come, it's different now. Because now you've been beating this guy hips up, you've been catching him to the body, he's sucking away, and guess what? Even though he's in condition, he's going to slow down. And like I said, Usyk, he got heart. He ain't no bitch. He's going to come to fight. You know, always point out, like when Canelo fight, I tell you, from the very first round. And it's funny because Anthony Joshua said Canelo's his favorite fighter. From the very first round, Canelo starts breaking you down to the body. Whether it's one shot at a time, or he gets you with little ropes and work you out. However, the point is he starts working early. And AJ didn't do any of those things. You come in, you're the bigger puncher, stronger guy, heavier, taller, and you're not walking this guy down and giving him nothing to worry about. You're basically just walking in, backing up, walk in, back up. He stood in the middle of the ring. You know, he went back with some time to avoid shots, but I mean, the feints is what was getting him too. Whenever Usyk would feint, AJ would just stand there. He was getting tagged with that left hand. And once, you know, he was catching Usyk with shots and Usyk wasn't going anywhere, Usyk's confidence went way up. A lot of fighters are like that. They're kind of anticipating how that first shot gonna feel. Then they get hit and it's like, oh, okay, I'm still here. A lot of nervous energy, y'all. But Usyk did what he had to do. Like I said, you're not gonna get no excuses from me. I don't care about none of that. To where I don't make excuses. I don't even make it for myself. So I'm not gonna make excuses for anybody. But you know, Usyk did what he had to do. And I'm not saying it was an okay fight because Usyk won. No, it was an okay fight because there was just a lot of things tactically that Usyk did what he had to do to win. That's the most important thing. Um, it was really more of what AJ didn't do. Usyk didn't have to reach. He just basically needed to do what he had to do to get that win. And what AJ didn't do is because he couldn't do it. When I say he's holding back, it's because he was too cautious. He was worried about running into something. He didn't want to get embarrassed. And AJ's confidence to go inside and do work, do damage, is not there. His confidence to walk you down, catch you with the big shots, and the way he used to do early in his career, I felt like him knowing he can walk you down, and as well as now knowing he can fight on the back foot, is one thing. When he fought Pulev, he was putting some punches together. He was going after Pulev, and what I think AJ was worried about too was getting tired. Usyk was not a stable target for him. He was moving constantly. I just feel like he went in there and like the mental game of it, he wasn't as strong as he needed to be. And Usyk had him beat in the mental game, and physically Usyk went in there and fought like, I'm gonna fight my fight. And he didn't let nothing AJ do bother him. And if AJ doesn't have the ability in here, and in here to impose his will and fight the way that he's supposed to, he's going to have problems with other people. And like I said, he didn't get knocked out, but it's one of these things that when fighters start coming after you, when they see, oh, he don't like the trade, oh, he's uncomfortable when okay. AJ seemed to have a confidence problem. That's a lot of what I saw. That he never felt that he was confident. Remember the AJ that would crack you, stick his tongue out after he gets you and start walking you down and come in? And we didn't see that. Any of it. So we'll see how the rematch goes. And hey, shout out to Oleksander Usyk. He did what he had to do. The better man won. Never fall in love with lies. Remember the truth brings hate out of people. And I will catch y'all on the next video. I'm just sitting up here in the mall chilling. Went to go buy a new phone. Now check this out. They don't have neither one of them, but they advertise. Ain't that something? Anyway, y'all, salute. Everybody stay safe. Stay up.